Good afternoon, everyone. I am Giles Delphine,
I am Marmadela.
and we are the reporter today. So, our topic today is all about Hinduism or ethical principle of Hinduism.
Hinduism comes from the word Hindu, literally mean river. It means river of the Indus Valley or simply Indian. Hindus call their religion Sanatana Dharma or eternal religion or eternal truth.
Hinduism, with a history spanning over 5,000 years, is often referred to as the eternal teaching or law dharma. It encompasses diverse religious beliefs and philosophical schools, fostering inclusivity. Buddhism, once considered unorthodox, was later integrated into Hinduism, depicting Gautama Buddha as the ninth avatar of Vishnu. This inclusivism, seen in India, involves merging various traditions into an existing framework, such as incorporating Buddhism into Vedanta philosophy to unite different perspectives and protect followers from karmic burdens.
Now, let's move on in the history of Hinduism. The first era is pre-Vedic, 3000 to 2000 BC. In this era, rites, cults, and yoga techniques evolved in the Indus Valley civilization. The second one is Vedic, 2000 to 600 BC. In this era, sacred Vedic language, Sanskrit and pantheon of gods are key system. Brahmana, Satirya, Vyasa, Sudra is originated. And the third one is Brahmanic, Shramanic. Brahmanic is aligned with Vedic authority, and Shramanic is unorthodox incorporating sects like Jainism and Buddhism. The fourth one is Hinduism consolidation. Shastras, Puranas, and norm establishment across religious, ethical, social, political, economic, and sensual domains. The fifth era is classical Hinduism. In this era, fully developed religious, social, and ritual systems, flourishing monasteries, and political schools. And the sixth one is Islamic influence. Sikhism emerged, resistance and reform movements reacted to Islamic influence. And the last one is the modern Hinduism, which is the present. British colonialism led to adoption to Western culture, resistance movements, and intensified political and religious activities globally. Now, the important texts of Hinduism.
Vedas. The Vedas are ancient religious texts written in Sanskrit, believed to have originated from divine sources. The earliest texts date back to around 1200 BC, with the final form of Vedic hymns, established around 500 BC. There are four collections: Argi Veda, which is called hymns, Yajur Veda, instructions, Sama Veda, for holy songs, and Atharva Veda, prayers, incantations, spells, blessings. Not universally recognized by all Brahmanic schools, later influential in the Tantric tradition.
The second one is Upanishads, also known as Vedanta, and of the Vedas, are unique religious texts with over 100 written as dialogues and disputes. Despite lacking a consistent teaching system, they shared common themes and purposes, authored by various individuals over many centuries. They play a crucial role in Indian religions. Notably, they explore doctrines such as samsara, karma, and moksha. In contrast to older texts focusing on rituals, Upanishad emphasize the significance of inner harmony, self-awareness, and inner sacrifice.
Shastras, a collection of treatises with three distinct yet interconnected parts. First, Dharma Shastras, focusing on ritual, ethics, and social philosophy. Second, Arthashastras, dealing with political and economic aspects. 3. Kama Shastras, addressing family and sensual life, where kama refers to both sensual pleasures and art. These texts include sutras and karikas, which are summarized teachings with brief interpretation of philosophical doctrines. They are also counter-opposing teachings. The Brahma Sutra is a crucial example, but the most well-known in the West is the Kama Sutra, authored by sage Vatsyayana.
The last one is Puranas or ancient stories, constitute a literary genre of historical legend presented in parabolic form of priests, monks, and the general populace. These narratives covers not only religious stories but also aspects of social, political, and ethical life. They encompass topics such as arts, rhetoric, grammar, and care for animals, along with details about pilgrimage sites. Key poetic epics include Ramayana, Bhagavata, Purana, and Mahabharata. A significant work from this period is Bhagavad Gita, known as the Song of the Lord, which distills teaching on spiritual and life duties and outline these three paths: yoga to liberation. Due to this, Bhagavad Gita is often likened to the Vedas and referred to as the fifth Veda. Now, let's go on the key concept of Hinduism.
God. Certainly most Hindus are adhered to the belief in one or another God, recognizing an eternal origin or being reality that can manifest as a personal or impersonal deity. The methods and rituals for worshipping the same God may vary. In Vedic hymns, there is a prevalent dedication to one God or being known by different names. The belief in multiple gods and goddesses aligns with Indian monotheism, where these deities are viewed as manifestation of the same infinite, inexpressible God. Worshipping this diverse God is seen as a path leading to the one perfect God. This perspective emphasizes unity amid the diversity of divine manifestation in Hinduism.
Brahman. Brahman is a singular, unchanging, and eternal reality in Hindu philosophy. The visual world we perceive emanates from Brahman, but this connection is specific to our worldly perspective. This relationship is described as Maya, the cosmic illusion. From Brahman's standpoint, there is no separate reality. Everything is interconnected and part of the oneness that Brahman represents. The term Maya emphasizes that our perception of reality is shaped by our limited understanding and doesn't reflect the ultimate truth of Brahman's unified existence.
Dharma. In Hinduism, the term Dharma is described as the eternal law. Representatives of Hinduism use this term to signify the eternal divine law and the enduring principle of being. It encompasses the entirety of Hindu faith, embodying the concept of eternal consistency and the harmony of the universe. Essentially, Dharma encapsulates the fundamental order and righteousness that govern both the cosmic and moral aspect of existence in Hindu belief.
Samsara refers to the cosmic cycle of life and death, denoting the continuous flow and change of lives within the illusion of Maya that encompasses the universe. Life undergoes constant renewal as the soul, upon death, travels to another body through incarnation. Each life is temporary, marked by impermanence, fragility, and the inherent suffering which is dukkha. The experience and circumstances in each life are predetermined by the events of previous lives, shaping the course of one's existence. Karma, meaning action or deed, also encompasses duties, rights, fate, and consequences. It is commonly understood as the culmination of human deeds, thoughts, desire, and preferences and beliefs that determine one's place in the rebirth cycle. Ordinary individuals may not discern the significance of each action or thought, so consistent behavior and the performance of duties become crucial to breaking free from karma. To escape the cycle of samsara, one must liberate oneself from both good and bad karma. Both positive and negative desires bind and keep us in the samsara cycle, as every desire is closely linked to expected consequences. While good karma is desirable, the ultimate goal is moksha. Liberation is not only sought by avoiding bad actions, but also by not becoming attached to good actions. The key lies is breaking the cycle of desire and consequence to attain ultimate liberation. Moksha, synonymous with nirvana, signifies liberation. This liberation is primarily associated by having the right knowledge and understanding. The cycle of samsara, which involves continuous rebirth, is sustained by ignorance and desire. When an individual recognizes the illusory and temporary nature of the world, they liberate themselves from the cycle and no longer subject to rebirth. In essence, moksha represents the freedom from the cycle of birth and death through the attainment of correct knowledge and the transcendence of desires and illusions. Jnana Vidya means recognition or knowledge. The pursuit of eternal truth involves intuition and the insight of enlightenment, rather than relying solely on the mind. The focus is on a deep understanding through intuitive cognition of reality, comprehensive oneness, and immortality, rather than relying solely on rational thinking. As a result, sages are revered not only for their knowledge but more importantly for their profound insight. Their wisdom and intuitive understanding are highly valued, making them object of worship. Ajnana avidya means ignorance or delusion. Ajnana especially refers to the delusion associated with being attached to the temporary world, particularly one's own mind, knowledge, and desires. It involves not recognizing that these attachments are part of the grand illusion, Maya. In essence, adhyana represents a lack of awareness and understanding that keeps individual entangled in the illusion of the transient world and their own mental and emotional attachment. Dukkha means dissatisfaction or suffering, and it is a fundamental aspect of life in the samsara state. This suffering arises from karmic dependency, constant rebirth, and the fragile and transient nature of existence. Importantly, it is not a form of punishment deserved by an individual or collective person. Suffering cannot be overcome through someone's grace or good fortune. Dukkha is inherent in the being of all living beings. Although not everyone realizes this truth, liberation from suffering is achievable by only through overcoming ignorance. Consequently, the defeat of suffering does not come from pursuing joy or happiness, Rather, it involves elevating consciousness beyond both joy and suffering through various practices. Yoga means yoke or connection. It involves disciplined efforts to harness and control feelings and the mind, as well as to manage the physical and mental aspect of human existence. The goal is to unveil the divine nature present in everyone. According to the Bhagavad Gita, there are three parts of yoga. The first one is Karma Yoga, the path of action emphasizing the fair performance of daily duties and work without attachment to the results. The second one is Jnana Yoga, the path of cognition focusing on meditation, self-development, and self-awareness. And the last one is Bhakti Yoga, the path of love and self-sacrifices involving self-denial and dedication to the deity. These paths provide different approaches to spiritual growth, allowing individuals to connect with the divine through various practices and perspectives. Patanjali outlined 8 steps of yoga. The initial two focus on ethics. The first one is yama, involving 5 abstentions from violence, injustice, theft, sex, and greed. And the second one is niyama, emphasizing 5 precepts including cleanliness, satisfaction with life, austerity, learning, and obedience to God. The subsequent 3 steps aim to discipline the body and sense of meditation. Asana, focusing on body position and postures. Pranayama, involving the control of breath. Pratyahara, emphasizing the withdrawal of senses from external objects. The final 3 steps are dedicated to calming the mind and thoughts. Dharana, concentration of thoughts on one object. Dhyana, meditation on that object. Samadhi, achieving complete oneness with the object of meditation in contemplation. These steps provide a comprehensive guide for individuals seeking physical, ethical, and mental discipline through the practice of yoga. Now, let's move on the ethical dimension of Hinduism. In Hinduism, constructing a temple is considered a highly ethical act with profound merits. The Puranic text emphasizes that building a temple for gods is a paradigmatic ethical deed resulting in various benefits. 1. Freedom from sins. The act of building a temple is believed to free an individual from sins, equivalent to the impact of offering sacrifices. 2. Piousness. The construction of a temple is seen as a virtuous and pious act, contributing to the spiritual well-being of the individual. 3. Beyond this life, ethical acts related to temple constructions are believed to transcend one current life in influencing past and future existences. Agni, a deity, describes the outcomes of building temples, highlighting that building temples for gods, especially Vasudeva and others, frees one from sins accumulated over many births. Constructing a temple from Krishna purifies an individual, making them virtuous and leading to the purification of their family. Building temples for various gods resulting in the accumulation of religious merits. Even Yama, the Lord of Death, instructs his emissaries not to bring individuals who have built temples and adorned images to hell. The act of constructing a temple is believed to bring one's family, spanning many generations, to the region of Achyuta, signifying a positive and enduring impact. In Hinduism, the concept of three das represent cardinal virtues spoken and enacted at the beginning of time. These virtues are foundational to Hindu ethical thought and reflection. 1. Damyata, restraint or self-control. The first virtue emphasizes the importance of self-restraint and control. It encourages individuals to govern their action, thoughts, and desires. 2. Datta, or giving. The second virtue promotes the act of giving. It encourages generosity, charity, and selflessness, highlighting the significance of contributing to others' well-being. 3. Dayatvam, compassion. The third virtue underscores the value of compassion. It encourages individuals to cultivate empathy and kindness, emphasizing the importance of understanding and alleviating the suffering of others. At the beginning of time, Prajapati, representing the divine, imparted three virtues to this threefold offspring: gods, men, and demons, who were students of sacred knowledge. Each group sought guidance on these virtues. The gods were instructed to restrain themselves, damyata. The men were instructed to give. The demons were instructed to compassionate. These virtues, encapsulated in the syllable Da, serve as divine voice, giving individuals to practice self-restraint, giving, and compassion. They form the ethical foundation of Hindu philosophy and guide individuals toward virtuous and harmonious living.
The concept of ahimsa in Hinduism signifies non-injury or non-violence. Mahatma Gandhi, a prominent leader in Indian nationalism, extensively drew upon this tradition. His interpretation of the Bhagavad Gita's Karma Yoga involved active engagement in politics marked by selflessness and dispassion. Ahimsa, as outlined in the laws of Manu, involves acting for the benefit of others in an nonviolent manner. Gandhi regarded ahimsa as the sole path to truth and God. In his words, he emphasized that a perfect understanding of truth follows a complete realization of ahimsa. Gandhi believed that without self-purification in all aspects of life, adherence to the law of ahimsa remains an unfulfilled aspiration. Perfect purity, according to him, requires becoming completely passion-free in thought, speech, and action. Rising above opposing emotions such as love and hatred, attachment and repulsion is crucial. Putting oneself last among fellow creatures, according to Gandhi, is essential for salvation. He viewed ahimsa as the utmost expression of humility. In prayer, he sought the boon of ahimsa in mind, word, and deed, highlighting its central role in his philosophy of nonviolent resistance and peaceful coexistence.